look at some video shot by Endeavour's crew earlier, not long after the shuttle's launch today, of the external tank as it made its way back down towards Earth. And now this video showing as the payload bay doors opened about a half an hour after Endeavour's liftoff. You can also see here the main cargo that Endeavour will be delivering to the International Space Station, the Tranquility node with its cupola window attachment there at the front end of it.
This animation gives you a rough idea of what that inspection will look like on the starboard side. The actual inspection will be conducted at a far slower speed. The animation is sped up so that you get a good sense of the activity. They'll be looking all along the leading edge of the wings at the RCC panels, the underside for the tiles, then move to the nose cap, as you see here, which is reinforced carbon-carbon panels, as well as the heat shield tiles around that area. And then they will move on to conduct the same sort of inspection on the starboard wing. Again, looking at the reinforced carbon-carbon panels right along the leading edge of the wing, and then turning underneath to get a look at the heat shield tiles. This view of Endeavour's port wing coming from a camera on the shuttle's robotic arm. In the background, you can see the Indian Ocean from a distance of about 213 miles. The shuttle just passed over the coast of Somalia and now is going to be heading southeast towards the Southern Ocean and the southernmost portion of this orbit around the Earth. This is a view from a camera inside Endeavour's payload bay looking at the orbiter docking system. This is the portion of the space shuttle that links up to the International Space Station, as all the crew members are getting ready for docking to the International Space Station. There, Patrick in view again, waving to the camera. And there, the terminal initiation burn using Endeavour's orbital maneuvering system engine. This is Mission Control Houston with a view from a video camera on the outside of the International Space Station looking at the Space Shuttle Endeavour with the horizon of the Earth below. Endeavour is behind the International Space Station at a distance of about 27,000 feet. This is Mission Control Houston with a view again from the centerline camera in Endeavour's orbiter docking system. This is a snapshot of that view from the video camera looking up at the International Space Station. Endeavour is about 1,600 feet away from the complex. Endeavour and the International Space Station are orbiting about 216 statute miles above the Earth over the Pacific Ocean just to the east of the Philippines. The Space Shuttle Endeavour is continuing through this maneuver, a 9-minute backflip called the Rendezvous Pitch Maneuver, or R-bar pitch maneuver. Going through that prescribed mapping of the underside of Endeavour, looking at the thermal protection system tiles. This is a view from the video camera inside the orbiter docking system on Endeavour. It's a snapshot
from that camera, being updated periodically, looking at the International Space Station.
Endeavour Houston on a big loop. You are go for docking.
Great news, CJ. Thanks. Go for docking. .204 feet, .09.
Copy, Endeavour.
This is Mission Control Houston, now with a live view inside the Space Shuttle Endeavour. Commander George Zamka at the controls, flying Endeavour towards the International Space Station.
Endeavour Houston, air to ground 2. We're coming on board on the flight deck.
These updated snapshots from video cameras on board Endeavour showing the vehicle getting closer and closer to the International Space Station.
Endeavour Houston, for Terry, please hit pause.
Station in Houston, capture confirmed.
Houston copies.
Docking confirmed at 11:06 p.m.
Endeavour
Central
Houston
Time.
Station, free drift confirmed.
Endeavour copies, free drift confirmed. And Houston, Endeavour, we're ready for step 19.
Endeavour, we concur. Thanks for the tag up.
Sambo, welcome.
Hey,
welcome.
Soichi, how you doing?
Oh, long time no
Good
see.
to see you. Oh, man,
Right.
you look great.
Good.
You guys look awesome. I think I last saw you before Christmas.
I know.
Good to see you, man. You got your legs. I don't have mine yet. Hey, TJ, how you doing? Good to see you.
Terry, Ohio. Thank you, Scott.
Awesome. Good to see you.
How's it going? Good. TJ, good to see you again. Good to see you. All right. Ramon, pretty good. How's it going?
Welcome.
All right, looking great. Thank you. Looking hot. Great. How are you? Good to see you. All right. Hey, how's it going? Ruby, how goes it? Really well. Good to see you. Hey, how are you? All right. Welcome aboard. Thanks. All right. Yet? Cocktail off? Stevie,
Two. Hello, Penguin.
absolutely.
Hey,
Again.
how are you?
Cocktail off. Great.
Hello, TJ.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Hey, vacuum chamber partner.
Pilot Terry Virts and Mission Specialist Kay Hire continuing to maneuver the Space Shuttle robotic arm and now, along with it, the orbiter boom sensor system into place for the viewing of the Tranquility node installation during the first spacewalk of the mission on flight day 5.
The shuttle station complex has just crossed into another orbital sunrise, 220 miles above the far northwestern Pacific Ocean. It has just finished flying over the extreme eastern portions of China and Russia.
This is now a view inside the station's Quest airlock where astronaut Nicholas Patrick is, and astronaut Bob Benkin, also in view at the bottom of the screen, are working on preparing their tools for the 3 spacewalks that they will be conducting. Space Shuttle Endeavour's commander, George Zamka, is inside the station's Quest airlock, working with station flight engineer Suichi Noguchi to install a rechargeable battery inside the spacesuit that astronaut Bob Behnken will use during the mission's 3 spacewalks.
Houston Endeavour on air to ground 2 for CWC fill.
Jerry, we're listening.
This is now a view from a video camera on the outside of the Space Shuttle Endeavour looking down at the Earth, 213 statute miles below, as the Space Shuttle and Space Station pass over the northwestern coast of Africa. As it is nighttime on that side of the Earth, the lights of cities are visible.
While we were away for a moment ago, the repressurization of the space station's airlock commenced and was completed. And just a moment ago, 4:17 this afternoon, Station Commander Jeff Williams reported that the airlock hatch is open, and that allows spacewalkers Bob Behnken and Nick Patrick, who are now on oxygen masks, which have long hoses on them, to re-enter the station and begin their hygiene break. .45 Houston time this afternoon. The hatch to the Quest airlock being closed.
This is a view inside the International Space Station. Astronauts Terry Virts and Kay Heyer are located at the robotics workstation to operate Canadarm2. Virts called down a moment ago indicating that they are getting into the procedure to grapple Tranquility in Endeavour's cargo bay, right on schedule. The space station's robotic arm, Canadarm2, is moving in ever so slowly to latch on to Tranquility. The end of the arm is passing over the grapple fixture, getting close to the latching point where snares within the end effector will close around the pin.
Rotate your body just a little bit more to clear it. Roger that. Close the thumb cover.
Crew members have a couple more setup steps here outside the Quest airlock, and then we'll make their way to Endeavour's cargo bay. This is a view from the helmet camera on astronaut Nicholas Patrick's spacesuit.
Steve, I'm at the Note 3 LTA.
The power for the heaters on Tranquility has been inhibited, and the heaters have been deactivated in preparation for these cables to be removed.
Hey, Bob, once you get that back in place on your left hip there, you just got to go to head back towards the ODS. Copy that, Steve. Nick, I'm ready for your tether off report. Thank you, Steve. My airlock safety tether load alleviator is on my left D-ring, closed and locked. Steve, I would like a hand run number, please, for the avionics bag stow.
Astronaut Bob Behnken is using the pistol grip tool to engage one hinge pin in the tool platform to stow it in place.
Okay, Houston, it was, I did put several turns in when I started, and I only got an additional almost 5 this time around, but I did several turns to get it started. The torque was 19.4 and a green light.
Astronaut Nicholas Patrick is finishing the reconfiguration of the area where the crew members were working on the tool platform, and
And this is the 245 and adjustable bulb. I'll show it back to give you. And Steve, I know it's early, but with the pausing and such, I would like to ask for a consumables status check here. I know we're probably going to get ahead of even more as we stand by in the upcoming minutes, but just to see where we're at.
Yeah, that was Bob that said that, right?
It was.
Thank you.
Yeah, and there is really no buckle to speak of on the Charlie. It's just right at the 619 handrail, but it does look good for the turn test.
Station Capcom Helen Getzelman talking with Mission Specialist Bob Behnken, who you can see here through Mission Specialist Nick Patrick's helmet camera. Patrick taking a
Bob,
photo of Behnken while Behnken answers some questions for the ground about his communication.
Roger.
And it marked the 4th spacewalk for Bob Behnken. His total is now 25 hours and 51 minutes. And the first for Nicholas Patrick, who, of course, has 6 hours and 32 minutes now under his belt.
Their first task is to basically lay out some what's known as MLI, multi-layer insulation. That insulation will be used to wrap around the ammonia lines once they are installed. So the first task is to basically set the stage for the insulation. So they'll be laying that out ahead of the actual installation of the ammonia lines.
Here comes that last fold, Bob. Okay. Nick, what do you think about opening up this MLI just a little bit? I think it's a great idea, Bob. Be able to capture the line. Yeah, sobering.
Endeavour Houston, we concur with continuing our tasks, and when we get nighttime, and we'll take a inspection with the helmet lights.
That's great news. Copy, Houston.
Bob Benkin has completed the insulation covers on the QDs, or the quick disconnects on those ammonia jumpers. He's now making his way over to the location where Nick Patrick is, so that he can, on this night pass, use the lights on his helmet camera to do a quick inspection of Nick Patrick, particularly his
So you've got a big black spot on your index finger.
That's, I can explain that. That's some grease, I think, from the back of the fasteners on the plates that holds the QDs. I can identify it, and I watched it go on my glove set. I'm also going to check the O-ring.
And the station flight control team giving the crew the good news that cooling is flowing into the new module, Tranquility. The team seeing the temperatures drop in the node, so the ammonia lines obviously working properly.
Roger that. So this is Bob and Nick when they had first come back in from their spacewalk and they just got out of their suits.
Houston from the station for robotics. We have the arm in motion, going in motion.
Houston copies on the big loop.
This is Mission Control Houston. The team in the International Space Station Flight Control Room is monitoring the progress of relocating the cupola using the station's robotic arm, Canadarm2. Astronaut Terry Virts and astronaut Kay Heyer are at the robotics workstation to conduct that maneuver. Virts indicated that the seal on the common berthing mechanism for Cupola looks clear, but that an electrical connector has popped out from behind the center and that it is recessed and cleared the mating surface, so the team agreed to continue on to the next position of Cupola at the pre-install position just nearby the attaching port.
Big loop, we copy. I'll go ahead if you want me to do another survey or just zoom in on the electrical cable.
Let's just focus on the cable, Kay.
And more.
Got 4 RTLs that are steady. We're going to continue in the procedure.
Houston, concur.
At 12:25 a.m. Central Time, the crew has indicated that there are 4 ready-to-latch indications. That means that Cupola has made contact with the port that it will be attached to. The next stage will be to deploy 4 latches to temporarily place Cupola on Tranquility. And a permanent location now on the Earth-facing port of Tranquility. Bertz and Hire are working through that procedure to connect power and data utility cables. The operations support officer here in the International Space Station Flight Control Room can see that the 4th set of bolts have been removed. All 16 bolts then disengaged from holding the pressurized mating adapter number 3 in place, and now the 4 latches are being deployed. This is a view from the camera inside the port that PMA-3 will be attached to. It is a camera set up for precise alignment of the element while it is being maneuvered in for installation.
And Houston Station on the big loop, we are ready for the CBCS view to monitor 2.
Copy, Bob. We will put that in work.
This is a view on the outside of the International Space Station and Space Shuttle Endeavour as the 2 vehicles orbit together 217 statute miles above the Earth over the South Pacific Ocean. They are passing through an orbital sunset. This is Mission Control Houston. The Expedition 22 and STS-130 Endeavour crews have joined together inside the Unity node on board the International Space Station for lunch.
And this was really nice. Jeff put together a crew lunch for us, so the whole crew was down there in Node 1 having lunch together.
There's Bob.
So everybody has utensils?
I do.
They're on
TJ?
Alright. Hello.
There you go, Jeff. One more.
Alright.
And there's one more in there if you want it.
Okay, well, I'll hydrate these and Huh? I just brought some in there.
These spacewalkers have completed their tasks with the setup of the systems for Tranquility. Later, they will install some handrails and worksite interfaces for future spacewalkers on the outside of the element. These spacewalkers have joined each other near the cupola to begin removing the insulation from the outside of that element. Once the crew members remove the insulation covers, Patrick will be the one to release the 3 bolts on each of the window shutters for the 7 windows, while Benkin moves on to install some equipment on the outside of Tranquility to help future spacewalkers, such as handrails and worksite interface connectors.
You can get to work on your side of the ground fasteners. Expect 12 turns each.
Roger that.
Crew members on board the International Space Station and Space Shuttle Endeavour have coordinated the spacewalkers' locations and opening the first shutter on the cupola, window number 7, the circular window on the top.
I see it opening.
And there, shutter number 2, the last window covering to be tested on the cupola, is opening. The crew members inside cupola open the shutters by the turn of a knob.
Mater.
Crew members visible in the window looking out of the cupola. The side of the cupola with the window open faces forward on the International Space Station.
Mission Specialist Bob Benkin making his way back inside the Quest airlock. The addition of the Tranquility node and the Cupola addition to Tranquility mark the 98% complete point for the International Space Station. And with the work done during today's spacewalk, setting up the final ammonia cooling line for Tranquility and the heater cables for the pressurized mating adapter, that marks actually the completion of the external thermal control system for the International Space Station. The crew getting some video. Pilot Terry Verts there, the cameraman. Verts has been working to install panels to cover up the wires and cables that the crew has been connecting and outfitting today.
degrees.
It's amazing.
You can see the thickness of the atmosphere. You can see the clouds coming and going, the continents coming and going.
this was the funnest part of the day. One of our tasks was to do a window check. And you can see Kay and I in there, and that's window 7. That's the window that looks straight down. So you can see we opened it up and we just closed it. And it was a real honor to get to be one of the first people in there to open up the window.
Hey guys.
Good morning from the International Space Station and from the Space Shuttle Endeavour, Mr. President.
Well, it's great to talk to you guys. I wanted to, first of all, just say that we've got a bunch of very excited young people here with us, along with a bunch of somewhat excited teachers. We have one engineer and one member of Congress.
The day's activities on board the International Space Station and Endeavour will focus on transferring the regenerative life support equipment into the new Tranquility node. That equipment is separated out into various phone booth-sized racks, many of them inside the Destiny laboratory module. And now that Tranquility is there, they can be relocated to that place and free up room inside the lab for additional research. This is a video camera set up in the Unity node looking through the hatchway towards Tranquility, where the astronauts are installing the waste and hygiene compartment into the new Tranquility node.
And Mike, this is actually a view from Cupola. This is the first time that we use the Cupola to observe robotic operations, which is one of its main uses. So that was pretty cool. Nick went down there and helped us watch the OBSS while it moved.
Well, good afternoon. Today we are here in Tranquility, standing above the cupola to formally open the cupola for use by other crews that will be here up on the space station.
So with that, George, how about if you cut the ribbon?
Sure.
And here we go. The cupola is open for business. All right, everybody. Let's take a look.
All right, great. Thank you.
See you on the ground. Safe landing.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for looking out.
Max, it's a pleasure.
Thank you. Thanks for taking good care of us, teaching us.
Flight Engineer TJ Creamer here, closing the International Space Station side of the hatch on the pressurized mating adapter. The shuttle side of the hatch closed at 2:08 a.m. Central Time, bringing to a close 9 days and 52 minutes that the two crews spent working together.
Really wonderful opportunity to fly the Space Shuttle for a few minutes. It was great. I wore my PLT colored shirt, and we're getting ready for the undocking and the fly around. We did a 360-degree loop all the way around the space station from a range of 650 feet.
Standing by for the undocking of the Space Shuttle Endeavour. Endeavour undocking from the International Space Station on time, 208 statute miles.
Physical separation.
Houston copies.
TJ from Endeavour, thanks very much for the great hospitality. We're sorry to go. Hope you get to enjoy Tranquility and the new view.
Absolutely. Hey, when you get back, right soon, okay?
Sure will.
United States Space Shuttle Endeavour departing.
This is a view on the aft flight deck of the Space Shuttle Endeavour. Pilot Terry Virts on the left, flying Endeavour away from the International Space Station, now at a distance of 223 feet. Astronaut Kay Higher on the right, holding the handheld laser to monitor that distance and increase of distance. This is Mission Control Houston, continuing to watch a view of the International Space Station from a camera on the Space Shuttle Endeavour as the orbiter flies in a circle around the space station at a distance of about 460 feet now. The crew members on board the Space Shuttle Endeavour adjusting the camera views from Endeavour's cargo bay, looking at the International Space Station. This is a live view from a camera on board the Space Shuttle Endeavour. It's in the aft portion of the payload bay, looking towards the cabin. You see the shuttle robotic arm is deployed with the orbiter boom sensor system attached. It was in this position as a standard position for Endeavour's undocking from the station. And then will begin its motion to inspect Endeavour's heat shield. The operators will be mission specialists Kay Higher, Steve Robinson, and Nicholas Patrick for the starboard wing survey.
For the port wing survey, Zamka and Verts will be continuing on with the work, but Higher will be handing over controls to Mission Specialist Steve Robinson. The orbiter boom sensor system lives along the starboard side of the shuttle's cargo bay, while the robotic arm lives along the port side.
Endeavour Houston, you are in a good config for the deorbit burn.
Copy, good config for the burn.
One minute and 30 seconds from Endeavour's orbital maneuvering system engines firing for the deorbit burn to bring Endeavour down to Earth at the Kennedy Space Center. The propulsion officer here in Mission Control indicating that both engines are firing and firing well for the deorbit burn. This is a 2 minute and 34 second burn to slow Endeavour down by about 294 feet per second or 200 miles an hour, serving as a braking maneuver to bring Endeavour out of orbit and into the Earth's atmosphere. Each orbital maneuvering system engine is providing 6,000 pounds of thrust. The Space Shuttle Endeavour has completed the deorbit burn. Endeavour will begin reaching the first traces of the Earth's atmosphere in 31 minutes, that point called entry interface at an altitude of 400,000 feet, and then leading to touchdown in 1 hour and 2 minutes at 9:20 p.m. Central Time, 10:20 p.m. Eastern at the Kennedy Space Center. This view from a heads-up display, and now Endeavour in view at the shuttle landing facility. 1 minute to touchdown. Endeavour at 5,000 feet. Endeavour's descent rate is 20 times higher and 7 times steeper than a commercial airliner on this final approach. 30 seconds to touchdown. Main gear touchdown. The landing gear is down and locked. Main gear touchdown. Pilot Terry Burt's deploying the drag chute. Nose gear touchdown. Endeavour rolling out on runway 15 at Kennedy Space Center, wrapping up a 5.7 million mile mission. Endeavour has completed its 24th mission and the 130th Space Shuttle mission. It was the 32nd to the International Space Station overall, Endeavour's 10th trip to the complex.
Houston Endeavour, wheel stop.
Roger, wheel stop Endeavour. Welcome home. Congratulations to you and the crew on an outstanding mission, installing the Tranquility node and opening up the Cupola's windows to the world.
Well, Houston, it's great to be home. It was a great adventure.
We copy, Zambo. There are no immediate post-landing deltas. We'll meet you on page 5-3 of the entry checklist.
First Hammond.
This is Mission Control Houston, still watching a live view of the Space Shuttle Endeavour on the runway at the Kennedy Space Center. The team here in the Space Shuttle Flight Control Room will continue to work with the crew on board to safe the systems and prepare to exit the orbiter.
NCC Endeavour, count check. Houston Endeavour, I'm putting APU hard shutdown in work.
Endeavour, you are go for APU hydraulic shutdown.
This is Mission Control Houston, now back with a live view of the Space Shuttle Endeavour, now 42 minutes since touchdown. At the crew members will get into the van next to the orbiter, and after we'll conduct initial medical evaluations, and they will have time to visit with their family at the Kennedy Space Center that are there for landing, and participate in post-landing medical data collection for any experiments. And then the crew members are scheduled to return to Houston tomorrow. The public return ceremony at Ellington Field is scheduled for 4 p.m. at Hangar 990.
Houston Endeavour.
Go ahead, Endeavour.
It's CJ, I'm stepping out of Endeavour. Before I go, though, I wanted to tell the team, great job. Thanks very much for the entire mission, and for today, particularly working a terrific entry. And it is a beautiful night in Florida. And a hearty congratulations to Norm Knight. It's his final gig as a flight director. He did a great job. If it was too easy for his last one, it wouldn't be any fun.
Zambo, on behalf of the Mission Control Center, Norm thanks you and the crew. It's been our pleasure to work with you and the crew for the last 13 days, almost 14 now. You know, this was a great mission. And just as a personal note for you, we think you're going to be really happy with the quick look data. Looks really nice on the landing. So it was a great way to top off a highly successful mission. We'll see you all back in Houston.
Copy, CJ. Hey, great working with a couple Devil Dogs, working weather, Capcom, and on the flight deck, and we'll see y'all back in Houston.
The crew transport vehicle now is repositioning itself away from Endeavour in preparation for the crew to leave the vehicle and do its walk around. Now that the crew is just about ready to do their walk around of Endeavour before they go back to the astronaut quarters on the Astrovan. Very shortly, we'll be seeing the Kennedy Space Center Director Bob Cabana with NASA Administrator Charlie Bolden greeting the crew on the runway once they're off the crew transport vehicle. And the stairs are now coming down. And here they come. Our Commander George Zamka. See there also our NASA Launch Director Mike Leinbach greeting the crew. Here is Mission Specialist Kay Heyer. With Mission Specialist Steve Robinson, Bob Benken, Nicholas Patrick, once again Kay Heyer. And there is Bob Dempsey, who is the lead station flight director, also greeting the crew. Benkin waving to everyone. And also out there, Mike Moses, the manager of launch integration and chairman of the mission management team, is greeting the crew. And they're headed over now to take a look at Endeavour. Our administrator, Charlie Bolden, again. Bob Cabana talking with Steve Robinson. Our pilot, Terry Wirtz. And Nicholas Patrick with Kay Har looking at Endeavour. Mission Specialist Bob Benkin with Nicholas Patrick. There's Steve Robinson. And our commander, George Zamka. With Steve Robinson. Kay Hire.
Us right over that way. Oh, we got this all? We got
good,
6.
Kay.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're good. George? Oh, I was going to say,
Are y'all able to hear me?
It's not on.
You're good?
How's
I'm
the
good?
audio? Is it good? Okay.
Okay, thanks very much. Hey, where are we looking? This way?
Nope.
Okay, we'll look straight ahead.
Yeah.
We'll fix the camera.
Okay, well, good evening, everybody. We're back as we came. It's dark outside. Hey, I just want to say that STS-130 is mission complete. We're safe on deck here in Kennedy Space Center, and that's due to the work of a lot of people. We had a great team. We had tremendous hardware to bring up. Node 3 was pristine. Cupola was beautiful, both in design and care before we left. And Endeavour, my goodness, what a machine. She was perfect throughout the flight, and we brought her back safe and sound due to a great mission control team as well. So thanks to all who were involved, and I'm going to pass it on to Terry.
It is so great to be back on Earth, and I just want to echo Zambo's thoughts of thanking all the folks here at Kennedy Space Center and also in Houston and also around the world, especially our Italian partners, for making this mission possible. What a phenomenal flight that we had. It's going to take some time to digest all that we did. It was an amazing experience. Great to be back on Earth, and that's it. Thanks. Do you want to say anything, Kay? Okay.
Yeah, thanks. It's great to be back at KSC. Thanks so much for the good weather here, and again, thanks to all the folks who processed the Space Shuttle, the orbiter, the tanks, the boosters, all over the country that contribute to that, but especially here at the Kennedy Space Center. Thanks again for providing us such a wonderful spacecraft, and I hope we didn't beat it up too much, because we know that you're going to be turning around one more time to fly it again. So thanks so much.
It is indeed great to be back in Florida. And you know, a lot of people worked on the Space Shuttle and the Space Shuttle program for decades before we even ever got to fly. And most of those folks are retired now, looking back, and this is your legacy, this amazing thing you created. So thank you to you too.
It's hard to believe we're back after 2 weeks in space, visiting the amazing International Space Station, and after a year of training. Really hard to believe. There's of course, one more really important and interesting phase of this flight left, which is sharing the experience with everybody here on Earth, and we're really looking forward to that. So thank you all.
Well, when you go last, there's not a lot left to say, but I do want to thank all the folks here at KSC for providing us such a good ship, all the folks in Italy for providing us Node 3 and the Cupola in such tip-top shape as well. we're just glad to be back here in Florida on our first attempt to come in for a landing, which is really exciting to do it on the first time, and happy to put a nice capstone on such a successful mission. Thank you all, and I'll pass it over to George here if he's got anything final to say.
No, thank you all. It's time for us to hit the showers and start getting used to life on Earth again. Good night.
And the crew now boarding the Astrovan for the 20-minute ride back to the astronaut quarters. Kay Heyer from Kennedy Space Center saying that she's proud to be from KSC. As they get back, they'll greet their families, have something to eat, have some medical exams, have some debriefings, and then in the morning head back to Houston. And there they go.
This view from a heads-up display, and now Endeavour in view at the shuttle landing facility. 1 minute to touchdown. Endeavour at 5,000 feet. Endeavour's descent rate is 20 times higher and 7 times steeper than a commercial airliner on this final approach. 30 seconds to touchdown. Main gear touchdown. The landing gear is down and locked. Main gear touchdown. Pilot Terry Burt's deploying the drag chute. Nose gear touchdown. Endeavour rolling out on runway 15 at Kennedy Space Center, wrapping up a 5.7 million mile mission. Endeavour has completed its 24th mission and the 130th Space Shuttle mission. It was the 32nd to the International Space Station overall, Endeavour's 10th trip to the complex. This view from a heads-up display, and now Endeavour in view at the shuttle landing facility. 1 minute to touchdown. Endeavour at 5,000 feet. Endeavour's descent rate is 20 times higher and 7 times steeper than a commercial airliner on this final approach. 30 seconds to touchdown. Main gear touchdown. The landing gear is down and locked. Main gear touchdown. Pilot Terry Burt's deploying the drag chute. Nose gear touchdown. Endeavour rolling out on runway 15 at Kennedy Space Center, wrapping up a 5.7 million mile mission. Endeavour has completed its 24th mission and the 130th Space Shuttle mission. It was the 32nd to the International Space Station overall, Endeavour's 10th trip to the complex.
Houston Endeavour, wheel stop.
Roger, wheel stop Endeavour. Welcome home. Congratulations to you and the crew on an outstanding mission.